Hi, didn't see you there. I was just crawling around on the floor like a dog. I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and I've been asked by the studio that funds this channel to produce some content to front end and maybe bookend and back end, or just stick in front of some archival footage of an old show. That show? Magic the Colouring, a show where we looked at where certain pop icons fit into the Magic the Gathering colour pie. Episode 1 of Magic the Colouring got re-released a couple of days ago on the channel. Here I bring you episode 2, and I'm still trying to convince the lawyers that we can show episode 3, as there was a lot of unjustified violence, nudity, and there was that bit where I shit in someone's sandal and use it as a chocolate fondue fountain. So kick back and enjoy some of the most provocative Magic the Gathering content ever created in celluloid or digital SD card. And the new episodes, episode 4 of Magic the Colouring, will be coming in just a few days, early in the new week. Maybe Sunday. I haven't actually figured out when I'm uploading all this shit. Enjoy. Whooshy. Heyo, Masashima.
Hello.
We have Rob, the White Rabbit.
Hello.
And we have Dave.
Hello.
Are you going to get a better name for like another
Maybe
episode?
one day.
Yeah.
Maybe for Christmas I'll get a better name.
David Claus. David Christ. I was trying to think of a Christmassy name that fit with David.
David Christ.
David's such a shit name. There's just no Christmas names available. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Magic the Colouring. Was that the title? Yes. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about the Sith. Last time we talked about the Jedi, which you can click the on-screen link to listen to our bitch and moan at each other about that. So now we're talking about the Sith, which I find it interesting when we talk about Jedi and Sith because they are two opposing philosophies, and the colour pie is 5 points. So it's kind of like it doesn't quite evenly distribute itself into two sides, if you see what I mean. So we'll go over to Rob first. So where do you place the Sith in terms of colour pie philosophy?
I'm going to put them solely in red, and I'll tell you why.
Oof.
One magic card, and it's called Priest of Urabrask,
which
is a 3-mana, 2/1 human cleric from New Phyrexia, who has, when he enters the battlefield, add 3 red to your mana pool. And its flavor text says, even in New Phyrexia, red mana sparks glimmers of individualism, passion, and freedom. And that's what the Sith is all about. It's all about passion, individualness, and breaking chains. And there is no other argument other than that. So,
so
good night, everybody.
One example, like drops the mic and walks off. But okay, so he's without a doubt, that flavor text is a fantastic example of like what the Sith like life is all about. But do you? What's your counter argument to not involve? Because everyone's like watching this is thinking, well, why not black? Why not black, Bob?
Because black is all to do with like a lot of black is to do with like decay and kind of entropy and destruction, and the Sith don't value those particular things, those elements particular. They're all about success and victory. And victory,
which is a very black thing, I would say. Like victory at any cost is very black.
Well,
like, I don't care if I'm playing life. I don't care if I'm sacrificing.
Wait, would you say like power at any cost? No, greatness at any cost. Wait, what's the flavor text on Bob? Greatness at any cost?
That's greatness at any cost. Yeah.
Yes. See, Bob, he is Sith as fuck, isn't he?
No, he's not though, because
he
is.
The Sith,
the Sith will only. It's not great. It's not victory at any cost for a Sith, because if you win by virtue of your of some weak or kind of like sneaky means, then they don't consider a victory that's going to last very long.
Well, okay,
to be Sith, you got to win. You got to win through power.
I'm going to counterpoint that. The probably the most successful Sith of the Age of Stars that we know is Darth Sidious, and Darth Sidious is a string-pulling puppeteer madman who, from behind the scenes, pulls the Senate apart and fucks everything up and becomes, the leader of the Empire. He becomes the Emperor himself through subterfuge and through.
Does that not make him? Are you about to say a bit blue?
See, this is the thing. I don't want to stick him in Grixis because it just seems like the obvious way to make them opposite to Bant in a sense, but. Yeah, I guess he is a little bit, isn't he? The Dimir are all about subterfuge and hidden ways, and I know what you mean. The Sith are very upfront about power. They're almost like Klingon in the way they want to fight things out and stuff, but I do think they like the subterfuge element as well. So, Dave, you've gone away and looked up the codes, so where do you place the Sith?
Okay, well, the Sith code is peace is a lie, there is only passion. Through passion I gain strength, through strength I gain power, through power I gain victory, through victory my chains are broken, the Force shall set me free. So, I think they're junned. Because the red is obvious. Passion, strength, all on red cards all the time. I think the victory thing is very black. just succeeding, what I just said about that and Bob and things like that. But I think power is very green. Green, Triumph of Ferocity, for example, is a card that comes to mind. It's all about the survival of the fittest, all things like this. It's all...
Well, yeah, the cards of the fittest.
Green is very power.
And also, that works in the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe the Sith are okay with, if you can defeat your master, you are now the master, and you can take over their position.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much a case of dead man's lightsabers.
Yeah, and like
hierarchy.
The dog-eat-dog world, survival of the fittest, as Dave just said. So there's that because Jund in itself, and that plane is all about larger creatures eating smaller creatures, and therefore they survive and evolve and so on and so forth. So I can actually see this. I did not come in thinking they were green in any way, shape, or form. But I quite like that. That's pretty good.
I like it because the green, because we discussed in the last video how the Jedi are probably banned, and the green ties them, which is the quite
because they're two sides of the same coin.
Red black's the quite obvious Sith thing, and blue white's the quite obvious Jedi thing. It's the green and they both share something. They both have the fact that they're
that innate connection,
and that's a natural thing. It's like the Force is all around us, which is quite a green thing as well. Like the Force is kind of quite green in that way, and that's the thing that ties the two of them together.
David.
That's some in-depth philosophy right there.
So, last time, the only real dissenting voice, because me and Bob and Dave seem to just come together on this, we've basically just through the last 3 or 4 minutes, we've just come to a conclusion through discussion. Tay, you've been awfully silent. Are you disagreeing with us?
They aren't fucking green. All right.
Why is this? Is this because you're a Sith, but you can't play Jund?
Fucking God. That was well low.
I felt it crunch.
Mostly true.
So come on, so they're not green. So what are they?
They're not green. They're obviously Grixis. It has to be.
So
through the reasons we said earlier, the sort of deceitful, controlling nature of blue. I don't know. They just feel. I can't. The problem is, I can justify why they're red. I can't really justify why they're black. The problem is, you all raised quite an interesting argument for why they're green. I just don't feel like they are.
Right.
It doesn't feel right. The Force does feel like a very green thing, but only when I look at it from a Jedi's perspective. When I look at the Force from a Sith perspective, it feels very black.
This is I completely agree with this as well, because it's the same way that if the Force is basically like space magic, then in that case, as we know in magic, you can have 5 colours of mana and 5 ways of approaching magic.
I would say but I feel that the Force is meant to be reasonably neutral. It's not meant to it's just the person that uses it.
So are you saying it's colourless, David?
No, I would say it's kind of all colours and no colours at the same time.
Is that what we're saying,
it's kind of like light.
Are we
in the light's made up of 7 colours, but it comes through as one.
So the Force is Blueberg?
We're tying in different episodes now, aren't we? With the new spoilers and the devoid lands.
I'll put a link on screen. So you're saying Chromanticore is the truest of Jedi? But I know what you mean. So it depends on how you channel the Force. Like Sidious and certain Jedi use Force Lightning, which in itself is red, right? Or as we know from magic, it's red. Where you don't find Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan using Force Lightning because that's not their thing, so they don't get the red element and that sort of stuff. Is that where you're going with that? Each iteration, how you use the Force is basically a different colour of mana?
I guess. Well, I think it's the people of the different colours of mana kind of
which
thing.
Which then proves that the individuals may be in different colour blocks, and it's
No, you're completely right, but the whole point is the Dimir are the Dimir and they are blue-black.
That's fine.
This feels like I'm arguing about the whole very nature of the episodes that we're making more so than the actual fucking...
We're supposed to be pigeonholing everything.
Yeah, that's the point. The colour pie philosophy. I'm not saying this thing actually fucking works. I'm not going to go to work tomorrow and pigeonhole people that I meet as a certain colour of mana. That doesn't fucking work that way, Teo.
I bet you fucking do.
Yeah, and do you know what colour you are? Shit brown. Like a shit arsehole. But yeah, so in Magic, white is very much the one that wants to balance everything out. Normally in a way that isn't actually really all that fair. But then if you look at other sort of fantasy things, you've got you got elves who don't want to get involved in Lord of the Rings mythos because they don't feel like they want. I'm not very good with Lord of the Rings. That's a really bad example. Druids in D&D, they by definition they want to remain neutral, don't they? Like the Harpers and the Druids and that sort of thing, where they want to keep things in an even keel. Yeah, so.
Which seems very un-Sith, because Sith is all about destruction and progress and change, which is not balance. It's not about restoring balance. So
are the Sith Phyrexian?
No.
No.
Like you talk about destruction and progress and change. That all sounds very Phyrexia.
It does, but the Sith aren't all about converting things to their own way necessarily. I guess one of the things that we need to take away from this episode and then on into other subsequent ones is that obviously no colour represents just one certain thing. So green here, we talked about how it can show balance and like neutral and keeping things in the natural way, or we can talk about it as like progress, like survival of the fittest and evolutionary leap, etc. So I guess the point is how you mix those colours and how you
just tried
them.
to fucking bring an evolutionary leap into this.
Look, I'm sorry that I play with good cards, Teo. So, on that note, where we've just basically said that these episodes will never really mean anything because the colours can be whatever the fuck you want, we're going to say goodnight. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, like the video. Thanks to the guys for joining me. Say goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Vince is a scrub.
Oh, what a